Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. Welcome to Strange Planet, and this is a Star Wars trailer breakdown. Now, for those of you who have seen me a few days ago when the trailer to Star Wars The Last Jedi broke out this past Friday, I basically flipped out and I couldn't wait for this moment. So I just said my 2 cents about what I thought of the trailer when it came out. And for those of you who've seen it, would understand. Now, having said all that, I've seen the trailer a few times. 100 times. Yeah. It's great that we saw Poe and BB-8 and the explosion. You know, Poe unfortunately keeps getting his X-Wings blown up before he, can do anything about it, which kind of sucks. Poor guy. I hope he gets insurance with that stuff. But that scene I found interesting because it seems to me like it's the beginning of the movie. Somewhere in the beginning. Like the First Order is already causing their first strike against the Resistance after their stunning loss at the end of The Force Awakens. Now, having said that, let's get to the real meat. We're talking about Skywalker and Rey. Now, we saw the images. We saw Rey like gasping for air, like she was coming out of something. She was either running up a real high cliff and she lost her breath, or she was recovering from another Force vision. My speculation, in any case. So, but what's amazing is what is said at the very end. Now, first off, before I continue, I want to also give a shout out to Alex and Pablo from Wide Range Media. I had the opportunity to sit in with them in a podcast this past weekend and to throw in my 2 cents regarding the Star Wars trailer and a few other topics as well. They're a great podcast. I'm going to put the link below so you can go listen for yourself. It was a very interesting conversation. So if you're into podcasting, if you're into listening to people talk about movies and pop culture and things of that nature, definitely go to Wide Range Media. I'll put the link below. Check it out. Though I said what I said at the podcast, I'm going to kind of reiterate it again here because, again, I've been studying it. I said, you know what? Let me get my notes. Let me get my research material. Let me get all the cool stuff that I need to look to really understand what Luke meant when he said it's time for the Jedi to end. Everybody bugged out at that. It's like, why did he say that? And did he say that? Was that really Luke or was that somebody else's voice? I looked at the trailer. It was Luke. You see him saying it. I mean, he's silhouetted at the entrance of the cave at the end of the trailer, but it's him saying it. I saw his mouth. What's amazing to me is people have a hard time. People are saying, oh, is he going to turn to the dark side? No, I don't think he's going to turn to the dark side at all. When he went to look for that first Jedi temple, he discovered something. He discovered something that made him go, oh, that's why things kept on getting messed up for thousands of years on end between the Jedi and the Sith. The two got it wrong all along. It seems like it's a total washout. And that's really messed up. So basically, what we're looking at here is a possible return to the prophecy of old from the prequels, talking about the Chosen One restoring balance to the Force. It's not the first time we hear the word balance. We heard it in the trailer when we hear Rey saying it, but we also remember hearing it in the beginning of Episode 7, when Max von Sydow's character mentioned something about bringing the Force back into balance. He was a Force worshiper of a special kind of church of the Force where they held the Jedi in high esteem. However, there's a problem. And the problem is that, and this is a theory, I could be completely wrong. Let me just put that out there first because I have no, bearing on this. I have here a Luke Skywalker Force Effects lightsaber. And this has kind of been the symbol of the last movie, and it looks like we're going to see it again in this movie, because you see Rey, you know, trying to practice with it, with Luke looking on a mountainside during the trailer. The original idea of the Chosen One bringing balance to the Force by eliminating the Sith may not be all complete. It's only half complete. It's not just the Sith that had to be taken away. The Jedi must be taken away too. That is the only way that the Force will be brought back to balance. So how's that going to happen? Well, let's think about that for a minute, shall we? If the Jedi end with Luke, then he is the one to bring balance by him ending it. And Rey becomes part of something bigger. Rey becomes part of something new. A new kind of Force user. Now, if you're really into the Star Wars canon, some of you are even more into it than I am. Some of you may even know some stuff that I don't know. I do know that there are other Force users in the Star Wars universe, not just Jedi and Sith. Those were the main guys, but throughout the whole time period, there'd been a group of people that believed in something called the Ashla, which is their version of the Force. There was also the Night Sisters, which were like Force practitioners, like witches that practiced dark side magic. So they had these different things. Now there's also the guardian, the Book of the Wills, the Guardian of the Wills. Who are the Wills? Well, we saw a glimpse of that in the cartoon series, The Clone Wars, where Anakin comes across one of them and he gives him a glimpse of his futures, of what he was going to become. So, that's also something else. So, there's different other Force users. So it is completely not out of the question for a new kind of Force user to emerge from the ashes of both Sith and Jedi. And maybe Rey is the first of that. Maybe that's her role. Maybe that's the significance of her in this new trilogy. It's deep. It's deep, and I think we're going to get even deeper as we get into the months leading up to this movie. I can't wait for this movie to come out. This past weekend was Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. I didn't get to go. I couldn't go. The next one is next year, somewhere in Europe, probably in the UK, like before. I think I'm just going to plan 2 years in advance for Celebration so I can bring Strange Planet to that. And that would be an awesome experience. So, I'm going to be doing that. Now, remember, Alien Covenant is coming out soon. I'm going to have my review here. I'm going to see it early on. So I'm going to make sure I check it out so that I can let you guys know what I think about it. Also, real quick, if any of you don't know, there's been tune in. I want you guys to tune in because I'm going to share something in my next episode of Strange Planet that I'm going to put out there as a kind of like think of it as a petition, as a request to you all. What is it? I'll let you know next time right here on Strange Planet. Take care. Thank you. And may the Force be with you.